revenge, payback, redemption. Call it whatever you want, but Indiana Fever guard Lexie Hull just gave Kayla McBride a taste of her own medicine, and the basketball world cannot stop talking about it. The Indiana Fever didn't just beat the Minnesota Lynx, they humiliated them, 83-72. And in the middle of that statement win came the play that will live in highlight reels forever. Remember that ugly elbow McBride delivered to Hull the last time these two teams met? Remember how the refs somehow penalized Hull instead of McBride? Well, let's just say Lexie didn't forget. And when the Fever got their shot at revenge, Hull answered with one of the coldest ankle-breaking moves of the season. The crowd went wild, social media exploded, and Indiana closed out the regular season on fire, with 3 straight wins heading into the playoffs. So today, we're breaking it all down. Lexie Hull's revenge moment, the Fever's resilience despite a roster full of injuries, Caitlin Clark's season-ending setback, and why this win over Minnesota signals a changing of the guard in the WNBA. Let's dive in. The second quarter. Hull matched up with McBride at the top of the key. A simple hesitation dribble, nothing too flashy, but the timing was perfect. McBride lunged, lost her balance, and crumbled to the floor. Hull calmly pulled up and buried the jumper. The arena exploded. It wasn't just a bucket, it was poetic justice. The same opponent who bloodied her with an elbow weeks ago was now the one sprawled on the hardwood. Fans immediately called it karma. Teammates leapt off the bench. Even neutral WNBA fans clipped and shared it across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Hull didn't pound her chest or taunt. She didn't need to. The humiliation spoke for itself. For a player who has quietly battled for her spot in Indiana's rotation, that crossover was a personal victory as much as a professional one.
Now, some might say it's just one play in a long game, but here's why this was so much bigger. The history. The last Fever Lynx meeting ended with Hull bloodied by McBride's elbow, and the refs bizarrely hitting Hull with a technical. Fans were outraged. Indiana felt disrespected. That call hung in the air. The stakes. This wasn't just any regular season finale. Indiana was fighting for playoff positioning. A win here meant a better seed, a higher chance to actually make noise in the postseason. The symbolism. Indiana's entire season has been about overcoming disrespect, whether from referees, injuries, or doubters. Hull flipping the script against McBride was the perfect symbol of the Fever's grit. That's why the reaction was so loud. It wasn't just Lexie's revenge, it was Indiana's revenge. And let's not sugarcoat this. Indiana shouldn't even be here. Their injury report has been a disaster movie. Caitlin Clark, out with a groin injury, ending her rookie season prematurely. Sophie Cunningham, MCL tear. Sydney Colson, torn ACL. Ari McDonald, fractured foot. Chloe BBY, knee issues that never held up. That list alone could be a playoff starting lineup. Instead, Indiana had to scrape by with hardship signings, bench fillers, and rookies asked to play 30-plus minutes a night. Teams collapse in situations like that. They fold, tank, or simply play out the season. But not Indiana. With Clark sidelined, Kelsey Mitchell became the centerpiece. And she didn't just step up, she put together the greatest scoring season in Fever history. Over 20 points per game, night in and night out, despite double teams, fatigue, and constant defensive attention. Mitchell proved she's not just a scorer, she's a franchise cornerstone. Then there's Aliyah Boston. Steady, reliable, and relentless. A walking double-double machine who anchored the defense and smashed the single-season rebounding record for the Fever. When everything else fell apart, Boston was the stabilizer. She kept them from collapsing completely. Add in role players like Natasha Howard filling every gap, Odyssey Sims coming in as a hardship signing and dropping 15 points, and Aerial Powers hitting back-to-back daggers against Minnesota, this roster turned its next woman up philosophy into real wins. The Fever hit rock bottom a few weeks back, losing 4 of 5. Playoff hopes looked dead. The national chatter, all about whether Caitlin Clark's injury had gutted the franchise's momentum. But instead of breaking, Indiana recalibrated. They strung together 3 straight wins to close the regular season. Against contenders, against doubters, against every bit of logic. That Minnesota game wasn't just a win, it was a statement. From the opening tip, Indiana dictated the pace. A 10-0 run in the first quarter set the tone. By halftime, the Fever were up double digits and never looked back. Minnesota, usually deadly from deep, went ice cold, just 2 for 20 from 3. Every miss fueled Indiana's confidence. Defensively, the Fever's rotations were sharp. They forced bad shots, swarmed ball handlers, and cut off Minnesota's rhythm. Meanwhile, Indiana's offense flowed. Balanced scoring, ball movement, and clutch shot-making when momentum threatened to swing. The final numbers? Fever 83, Lynx 72. A double-digit win over one of the league's gold standard teams. Even in street clothes, Caitlin Clark was part of this. Cameras caught her signaling for timeouts, calling coverages, joking with refs, and hyping her teammates. She looked like an assistant coach out there. Her rookie season may have ended on a press release instead of a playoff debut, but her impact didn't disappear. Fans still showed up in droves. Teammates still leaned on her energy. And the Fever are entering the postseason with the knowledge that when Clark returns next year, this team could leap another tier. Indiana finishes the regular season 24-20. That might not sound earth-shattering, but it's their first winning record since 2015. Nearly a decade of failure, rebuilds, and false starts, all washed away in one resilient season. This isn't about celebrating mediocrity. It's about acknowledging a cultural reset. The Fever aren't a pushover anymore. They aren't just Caitlin Clark's team. They are a playoff contender built on grit, depth, and fight. And Lexie Hull's revenge moment against Kayla McBride crystallized all of that in a single play. Think about Hull's journey, from being bloodied and penalized unfairly, to dropping 23 points against Minnesota in a previous matchup, to this moment where she left McBride on the floor and the entire internet buzzing. It's the kind of arc fans love because it's personal. Hull didn't complain, didn't pout, didn't demand justice. She waited, she worked, and when the opportunity came, she delivered. Her crossover wasn't just about embarrassing McBride, it was about flipping her own narrative, from victim to victor, from overlooked role player to symbol of Indiana's fight. Lexie Hull's crossover will be replayed for weeks, but more importantly, it represents the Fever's spirit heading into the playoffs. Disrespected, fight back. Injured, next woman up. Counted out, keep winning. The Fever's culture has shifted, and now they enter the postseason not as long shots, but as a team with momentum, confidence, and nothing to lose. Lexie Hull's revenge wasn't just sweet, it was season-defining. From a bloody elbow to a viral crossover, she embodied everything the Indiana Fever stand for right now: resilience, grit, and the refusal to back down. So what do you think? Was Hull's move the ultimate karma moment? Can the Fever make a playoff run even without Caitlin Clark on the floor? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's show Lexie some love down below. And hey, if you love this kind of breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss the biggest stories in women's basketball. The Fever are back, Lexie Hull just proved it, and the playoffs are about to get wild.